Well, hello, BackChat powered by Paywise. Get more from your salary while paying less tax. Paywise can show you how, and I tell you what, they'll be showing you really how in about 1 week's time. Can't tell you why, but they'll be showing you how.
It'll be huge.
Right here on the podcast. Hamish Brayshaw, Dan Const. How are we, fellas?
Oh, so good.
How was the weekend?
Yeah, sensational.
How was the weekend?
Shit as.
Yeah.
Your team loses by 100 points. What are we
99.
What are we doing?
99.
No, 99
Not
points.
100.
Not 100.
Right,
Not
so
100.
it wasn't triple digits.
It wasn't that bad. Don't let everyone fool you. 99 points. It's okay.
It was real bad.
That's shit.
I had to call it. It was a shocking
was
game on West
horrible.
Coast. How did you enjoy watching that? Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched the entire thing. It just felt like I was watching the same team from 2 years ago. Like, what are we
At
doing?
what point did you think that Jordan Dawson might be a little bit of a concern?
Oh my goodness.
Was it the 12 touches and 2 goals in the first
three?
quarter?
Was it 5 seconds into the game or 20?
I feel like these are the games that get Simo sacked.
Oh, you're
Like-
saying Adam Simpson's going to be sacked?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, if you get more of these, like, they've shown that they can be good. If you're going to be that bad, then it shows. I don't know. I don't know where.
Maybe you started your weekend on too much of a high. Maybe
I was buzzing.
Maybe you were coming down from one of the great moments. You left Hamish and I to finish the show on Friday.
Yeah, yep.
You're not usually like that. You're usually Mr. Reliable.
yeah, you
That's
are.
true. Yeah, always here for the people. But my wife organised something, and good husband does what his wife
You
tells
went.
him
Yeah.
to do.
So you went and painted Barry. How was he?
Dicks at the museum.
How was Barry?
Barry was great. He actually was in the class drawing, but he wasn't the model. Funnily enough,
Who was up there?
I don't know. It was a lovely young lady who
You drew a girl.
who I drew. Yes, charcoal.
Charcoal
not her
tits and
name.
ass.
We used charcoal, and it's the first time I've ever done anything like that. So I walk into this thing at the museum, and there's a big moon there, and then I see a chair with this pink, lacy, silky sheet hanging over it. I'm like, all right, we're on.
You're not drawing
It's not.
dicks.
Barry's not
Barry's
sitting
not going to roll out and sit on it, straddle this thing.
No, and so
I haven't seen him yet, but Dan's brought his
I
drawings
brought the
in.
drawings
Have
in.
you?
I'd
Yeah.
love you guys to
Yeah, I'd love to look at it.
see
Before
them.
we start that, how, I've never been to one of these things.
Yes.
How does it happen? Like,
Cool.
how long is
With
the
the
person up there
logistics.
for? How they
Are you talking?
are they
Yeah.
sitting? Are they standing? Are they
Are
what
you
are they
making
doing?
jokes?
Okay, so yes, I was. So the lady who's running the class, who's a great artist, she starts the so I'm gonna teach you guys how to do some charcoal drawing, whatever. And then there's a girl standing next to her, and she was fully clothed at this time.
Yeah.
And
Full, as in like wearing what I'm
Like a
wearing,
dress.
but a woman. So you're not wearing
wearing
like
a
a robe that you can just take off.
no,
and
it
nude
was a
under
dress. It
Wow,
looked like she could be walking down the street wearing that.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
fine. It's just a
Gotcha.
dress.
Yep, gotcha.
And then she was like, "All right, well, should we get underway?" And she was like, "All right." And then she takes off her dress, so now she's completely starkers. Like, you can't get any more naked. Like the definition of naked, she was that.
Okay.
And then she sat down on the chair, and she sat in one position for about 30 minutes. And we had 30 minutes to draw her from that, from the angle that we were sitting at. And then she changed position once, and we drew her from that position.
So have you
about
got
an hour.
drawings? I'd
Yeah,
love
got
to
the
see
drawings.
Can we see the
Let's bring them up. So I've
It's so lifelike.
It's
That's
so
very
lifelike.
good.
Barry.
No, so I'm just keep in mind before we actually see them, I'm a really bad drawer.
Are these yours?
So these are mine. I'm not going to show you Bex because they're way better than mine.
Yeah,
so
okay.
the first one, she was on the left there. She's sitting facing us.
Hang on a minute. So that's how much of time have you had to work on these?
Half an hour each one.
I don't know if they're very good.
Pardon
No, they're all, awful. I'm a horrible
Dan,
drawer.
Dan,
I
Dan,
know
Dan,
that.
Dan,
But to be honest, the one on the right there, I mean,
that is.
it's hard to do 3-dimensional drawings. Just can you zoom in on the other one, Jaiden? Can you give us because I feel like that one was better. I learnt from the first one.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That looks like a rotisserie chicken.
look at the legs.
Nah, that's
that's
a
quite
better
good.
looking leg.
The
yeah.
legs. Look at that. That's pretty good. And so, look, that was the drawing. And so I'm not a good drawer. I said that, but I also had this what I know as the second most attractive female I've ever seen naked.
Right.
Like sitting there in front of me for an
other
hour.
than your mother, yep.
So yeah, so that was what I did, Drew. And
Yeah.
Beck and
Can
I.
we get off this? I'm feeling awkward talking about it. I'm listening to you stumble around it. I thought it was going to be funny. It's just
the
awkward.
drawing, I tried.
That's really bad. I'm no artist either, but that's shit.
I would love to see you try it.
Thanks for the update, fellas.
Thank
Very good. Can we get into some footy, please? That'd
Yeah.
be great. Jesus Christ. Look, Freo Collingwood, I went to this game, shot off after the podcast, took Nash down there.
What'd you think?
I thought Fremantle were as bad as I've seen them this year. They were fumbly. They
handballing on the floor.
They missed targets all over the ground. Their ball movement, as soon as you start seeing Luke Ryan and Jordan Clark, which we love both of these boys. Yes. As soon as you start seeing their marks start to get into double digits halfway through the third quarter, you know how the game's gone for Fremantle.
Yep.
They're chipping around in the back line, no forward movement, no run, no carry, no dare. Fifey's missing targets. Matty Johnson missing. It was hard to watch. So with 6 minutes to go, I made the comment to the man I was with. I said, who was a massive Freo man. There is just no fucking way Fremantle win. Like, what are we doing? Why are we still here? There's no way Freo in this.
Throw the towel in.
No way. We had a look at our TABtouch app, right? Jumped on, paying $42 live odds. 6 minutes to go in the game. $42.
Wow.
Mate, they were 5 goals down and they'd kicked like 6 goals.
Yes.
Like they just were no chance of winning. And then they started rolling.
Tell you what they started doing. They started deciding, you know what? Let's kick the ball. Let's, instead of handballing 30 times, instead of handballing behind a bloke or handballing to a guy who's getting tackled or handballing to the floor of someone's feet, let's just fucking kick it.
Yes.
Let's get the ball and kick it the way that we're going to a forward who can create a contest and we get the ball going our way.
So
why wouldn't
whose
they
call
start
is
doing
that then? Yeah, exactly.
Why wouldn't they start doing that?
Because I don't know. They've just... their run and gun handball style of ball movement works for them sometimes, but not against Collingwood, who are the best pressure team in the competition.
Correct.
So then does a runner run out at some point and go, boys, word from the top, it's time to start kicking it. And they're like, all right, go for it.
Yeah, but
Let's do
that
it.
didn't happen literally till 10 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah,
so
they nearly won.
That's a pattern for Freo. I've seen it before.
Coach's fault?
I would say on ground leader's fault. You've got to be able to make. You've got to be able to make that call on ground.
Don't have a great plan B for mine. The Dockers. They would have gone into that game thinking we're going to handball through this, and then when the pressure came on and it wasn't working,
let's handball through it some more.
They didn't really have somewhere to go to, and it was annoying to watch until they started getting on a roll and things started happening, and then people getting excited. The people that I was sitting with or in front of threw a glass of red wine in the air after this man did this. I want to show this, boys. This is one of the great highlights of the year for the Freo Dockers. Alex Pearce goes back,
big moves,
slots an absolute ripper of a
So
goal.
with a minute 50 left, he's put him within a point.
Kill the audio on it, please. But it is just
that's pandemonium.
It was a beautiful thing. I was hoping to see his mark as well, but came out leading out like a full forward, which we saw a couple of weeks ago.
He went for the win.
Yep, he did.
Same thing, but this time it works. He goes back and shows the forwards how to do it.
So it's funny that you should bring that up, and later on we'll get to it, but. Typically, that would rule any backman out of contention for the Jack Buckley BackChat Backman of the Year votes.
Yes.
On the back of a few things this week, I've tinkered with the algorithm again. So we may or may not see something feature later on, but the algorithm's been changed again.
There's some great news all around today on the podcast, ladies and gents. Number one, Dan submitted his drawings, which is obviously such a great highlight.
He was stoked.
Number two, Hamish Brayshaw will be with us for the entire podcast.
I'll be here all day.
That is very good.
Thanks, guys.
That's worth a clap. Full show.
So we've actually moved some things around. Dean Margetts will be joining us a little later on. Live
wow. Okay,
studio.
Dean.
We're going to go through a few of these, interpretations of decisions, especially in this game.
There's one that springs to
mind. Can we talk about it before Dan gets in?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that paid in a game? Like, have you been involved when that's been paid?
I never have.
Something I read on that today was the ruling that says the umpire can award a free kick if they deem it.
If they deem it,
yeah, it's a rule.
Doesn't have to.
It's a rule, but he doesn't have to award the free kick.
Can award it.
It says
there's rules like that in the rule.
Yeah, it says you can. The umpire can award the rule if.
If they feel like it was time wasting or something.
Right.
I've been playing in a game where my teammate has given the ball, thrown it. He's on the ground with the footy, thrown it to someone else as he was getting up. Pretty similar to what happened, and then gave it to the umpire, and he said, "You've got to give it to me." Didn't play the free kick, just said, "Got it. You have to give me the ball."
Yes.
It's a bit of a warning.
Yeah, it's a warning. I've seen a free kick given when. Instead of handing it to the umpire, the bloke at a stoppage just thrown it on the floor and run away. I've seen that been paid before. Yeah.
So the one I saw, they showed the 4 other times it's been played this year. I saw it on socials earlier today. There was a couple exactly the same as Sullivan, just sort of threw it to one player, who threw it back to the umpire, they paid him. The worst one is Tom Liberatore. Not sure if he was in the game where he was concussed about 10 times. He's at the bottom of the pack. He gets up with the footy. He walks in a circle with the footy in hand, looking for his man, right? He's walking around the stoppage, right? Gets between, he finds his man, still got the ball. He then looks at the umpire,
Yeah.
who's in between him and Tim English. He throws it over the umpire's head to Tim English, and then Tim English gives it back to the umpire. And the umpire's like, nah, mate, that's a free kick.
That's a free kick.
Yeah,
That's
correct.
certainly a free kick.
All right, we'll get into that a little bit. I saw the back page of our great paper, the West Australian, after this one. Shot off a little X, a little tweet. Went quite nicely actually. Jeremy Sharp on the back page. Can we have a look? So missed it by that much. Pearce's forward heroics, correct. Not enough as late chance for signature win goes begging. With a picture of Sharpie looking sad on the back page. I don't know why I felt aggrieved by it, but I kind of felt like they were blaming him. But now I look at it now, it's not really that much of a big deal.
Well,
I don't know.
no, it's insinuating. They've put him on the back page, missed it by that much. Because how many seconds were left when he kicked that
So
point?
he has a shot to win the game with
Yep.
30 seconds left. I don't know, something like that.
He won it. He was the reason they got 2 points.
Yes.
He kicks it out on the full, they lose.
Yeah, he was
Wow.
also one of their best players. So I was just like, look, the reason Freo lost wasn't Jeremy Sharp missing that goal.
No,
Absolutely.
It
not.
was their ball movement, their fumbles for 3.5 quarters of that game.
correct.
Okay, thank you very
Gold
much.
Coast would be spewing watching Jeremy Sharp this year.
Well, how did they not?
This
How
game
could they
not for
not?
nothing.
I just don't know how they couldn't find a spot for him on the wing.
Who?
Gold Coast.
What? Yeah, so what's going on there?
They didn't want him.
Yeah,
Don't want
correct.
How could they not find a spot for him anyway?
It's
playing
time
pretty
for this, fellas. We're going to have time for a little back chat back in the year, I think.
You've got the touch. You've got the power.
So, Hammer, without knowing you were going to be with us for the rest of the podcast, I thought we'd go and get back chat back into the year pumping and rolling along early. But
Well,
you're going to be
I'm here,
so
so
that's
we can
fine.
talk
We're
through it a
going
bit.
to leave it early. Mate, talk to me through what's going on here, because you are Chief Jack Buckley Score, the JBS adjudicator.
I am.
You are running the algorithm through the numbers.
I've got the algorithm. I've got the numbers.
Every time you turn on your computer, it must be like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
Like,
but-
just keep the algorithm to one thing.
Yeah. What's happened in my mind? I try and be a fair arbitrator,
Yeah, which are.
which I am. I feel.
No one's questioned that.
The algorithm isn't set in stone, so it can evolve and adapt. And I have heard the calls of backman. I've heard the plea, not the pleas or the cry, because backman they don't whinge.
No.
They just get on with the job. But listening to Sammy Taylor the other day,
Yes, Slammer.
listening to Slammer the other day saying, I've just got to get back out there and keep working. I thought
He's been playing well.
he's
hasn't
been playing really,
Really
well.
well.
So I wonder why he hasn't featured.
he? Yes.
And there's some things that I hadn't taken into consideration that
Right.
needed to be then taken into consideration.
Right.
I've had to rejig a few things. I've had to give higher weightings to certain things and other things because I want a complete defender's game.
Yes. And
I
so,
want
So goal kicking has been
goal kicking has been not allowed.
It's
Been banned. But what Alex Pearce did on the weekend
yes.
it doesn't fly in the face of defending.
We don't know if he's got votes or not.
We don't know if he's got votes or not. It doesn't fly in the face of defending. It goes to show that it's not that hard to be a forward, and that when the game needs to be won,
Time to send the backman
time to
forward.
send the backman forward and do the same thing. Listening to Lewis Melican's the Pelican, who we love, you couldn't look anyone in the eye and say Lewis Melican is not a dour defender.
No.
And he kicked his very first goal off a stoppage kick, and he just so happened to be set up defensively,
Yes.
but higher up the ground. So there's certain things that I had to take into consideration there. Sure, if you're playing as a full forward and you kick a goal and halfway through the second quarter because you've been moved down there, you're out.
Yeah,
if
okay.
you get a running handball from, half back flank, Mitch Hinge goes bang, you're not getting votes this week, mate.
Okay.
Don't be flashy. But if you win, if you kick a goal because you've either gone down there to try and save the game,
Yep.
or you have set up properly at a stoppage, that's
That's not the backman's fault.
Can we,
Not
can
the
we
backman's
also
fault.
just throw in like a 50-meter penalty which marches up
Yep.
backman all the way up?
Yep.
What else is he going to do?
He can't do anything. He takes an intercept mark at the half-back flank and gets a 100-metre penalty and kicks it from the goal
Tom
square. Not his
Barras
fault.
did it.
Tom Barras, yep.
Yes.
Not his fault.
Yes. Okay.
So anyway, there has been a few changes to the rule this week.
So the Jack Buckley Backchat Backman of the Year, the Jack Buckley Medal 2024, brought to you by TABtouch. Thank you very much. The votes are in, and I'm looking over them right now. So the algorithm has spat out some numbers. With one vote, we've just seen him. Alex Pearce has got one vote.
Alex
Very
Pearce
good.
has got
Lucy.
one vote. Well done,
Lucy.
Alex. Exceptional on the day. And
There was discussion around the goal.
there was discussion around the
but
goal.
as
I've just said, I had to. There was tweaking that needed to be done with the algorithm on the back of that goal. He gets you 1 vote.
Yeah.
He
Very
was
good.
unbelievable.
Really good. 2 votes, Asava Radikalia for...
Did you didn't watch this game?
No, I didn't.
Boy, howdy, he was good.
They destroyed North Melbourne.
They destroyed North Melbourne, but he was just indomitable down there. Didn't get anything go near him.
Good.
Couldn't get through the big fella, and with 3 votes, wow.
Do we just play the vision, or do we
Let's
say
play
it
the
is?
let's play the
All right,
vision.
let's have a look at the vision. 3 votes to this man, Jordan bloody Ridley. Ladies and gentlemen, this
He was
man,
everywhere.
he has missed the entire
See
part of
ya.
the season. Quads being ripped off, hamstrings non-existent, and he
Look at that.
could not get away from the footy. He had 16 intercept possessions, and there was 31 of them. That was the 50-metre penalty just back there, and he went and kicked a goal from it. So he did kick a goal.
Yep.
He did kick
right?
a goal, but
Look
like,
at this. Look at this.
it was undeniable that without Jordan Ridley, Richmond win Dreamtime at the G.
he was. I mean, he's a best and fairest winner. He's arguably their best player in a team that has a lot of very good players. He was awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't realise how good of a kick he is.
Oh,
He's
The
exceptional.
Riddler, mate, the Riddler's very good. I've actually got our good friends over at the Sash sent us
Sash.
some stuff with a Riddler mug,
The mug.
actually. Wow. So with those votes in mind, first place remains Harris Andrews, the captain of the Brisbane Lions, 11 votes.
Got him.
Just closing the gap ever so slightly, Alex Pearce, the captain of the Fremantle Dockers, on 9 votes.
Yes.
So tightening up a little bit. Sam Collins on 7, Jacob Wiedering on 5, Tom Barris on 5, Jack Buckley on 4 votes.
funny that they're all
Great
BackChat
lineup.
backman.
It's
They're all our BackChat backman. It just goes to show.
Someone on YouTube chat said, Maddie said, this algorithm seems pretty dodgy. Anything to say to that, Hammer?
Who said that?
well,
Maddie.
no, but all I can say to Matty is look at the leaderboard. Like if it was dodgy, Nick Dacos would be up there,
That's true.
He's not.
right?
Yeah. I'll release
If it was
the
dodgy,
algorithm
Jack
at the end
Buckley
of the
would
year.
be
I
at
think.
the
No,
top.
I won't.
you actually have no. Didn't you say you're going to release the algorithm with like in algebra? And
Oh,
people can
yeah,
try and
actually,
figure it
that's
out?
true.
You have the mathematic calculation.
Yeah, I'll release the.
Can we release it this week?
Yeah, we can. We'll put it up on somewhere
Nick,
tonight.
please put in your notes, your scrambled notes that no one can make sense of. Can you please? Can you please put in release the hounds?
Release the hounds.
Smithers.
I will. Yeah, I will create the BackChat Backman of the Year (JBS) algorithm, and you can try and decipher it.
While we're chatting from our good friends, with our good friends from TABtouch, just wanted to sum up our bet on the weekend.
Oh,
Dan.
boy.
I want to say to start with,
It's a good bet.
We're going to be consistent with this, and we're
Yes,
going to
great
back
bet.
it in, and because it's a $20 maximum bet, it's just meant for a little bit of a bit of fun.
Third time's
Watch
a charm.
along. You're
Third
backing
time's
the
a charm.
backman, backman.
Yep.
In saying that, we lost on the
did.
weekend, so we had
We
no
did.
Collingwood player to kick more than 3 goals.
Hurts.
Right, halfway through the second quarter, Brody Margetts and Harvey Harrison had both
Who?
kicked 2 goals.
Yeah.
Who's Harvey Harrison?
They'd both kicked 2.
Yeah. Didn't Mitch Owens kick 3 in the first quarter last week?
Yeah, I think he did. Right, and then we don't hear from them again. So,
No.
Brody Margetts didn't kick 3 goals.
No,
right,
kicked
2
2.
in the first half. Didn't see him for the rest of the game. Shock.
Yep.
Harvey Harrison, with 3 minutes to go in the second quarter, has got flushed a ground ball off a contest that hard, snapped it through for his 3rd goal of the game.
Yeah.
I spat it.
Yeah.
Where I was
So
sitting at the
Harvey
game.
Harrison. Do you know who Harvey Harrison is, Hammer?
I do now.
Okay, so he's
He's a
played.
man.
I think he's played 9 games in his career.
Hey, you know what? I don't think it's about Harvey Harrison. I will say that.
No, it's not Harvey Harrison.
Well, you're about to tell us why it is. I don't think it is. It's about the backman.
I was
the back-
it's more about the how unlucky we were with that.
The backman is the reason why we didn't
so
win that.
Freo's backline.
So I think we're gonna have to swap off Freo's backline. Okay.
So who we
Not West
point
Coast.
figures?
West Coast are playing at home this week.
I
Actually,
think
back,
we're gonna have to get on West Coast against
back
St Kilda.
West Coast. Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
McGovern, Barris,
one of the best
Hoff,
backlines in the comp.
Duggan.
King, Membry, Higgins.
Who knows?
Machado. Mitch Owens.
He ruined us
Shit.
2 weeks ago. I think we're going to back up and
Okay.
go three again, boys. Back to backman. You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Ladies and gentlemen, if we could actually, you know what we're going to do? Can we please play the Paywise ad? I'd love to see Jeremy McGowan tell us all about Paywise. And after the break, Dean Margetts will join us live in studio to break down all the big umpiring calls.
Hi, I'm Will, and I'm a backman.
Hi, I'm Gov, and I'm a Paywise ambassador.
And you're a backman.
And a Paywise ambassador. And a lot of people are always asking me what a novated lease is about.
What exactly do you tell them about, mate? Spoiling, winning premierships, all Australians, mate. It's all you're good for. You're a backman.
Yeah, and more. Schoey, you're a big dog in the media now, arguably the biggest in Australia if you ask yourself. I've spoken to a lot of Paywise customers and I'm a man of the people.
Is that right, man of the people? What do you speak to the customers about? Your All-Australian jackets you won while I was playing on your man in the back line?
I wouldn't even know where my All-Australian jackets are actually, but I do know the best way to get a new car is through Paywise novated leasing.
Is that right?
Guaranteed.
Tell you what, champion, you sound like you know a lot about novated leases. Tell me all about it.
Well, novated leases allow you to pay for your car using pre-tax income. So you pay much less tax and save heaps of money.
Save heaps of money. Now, it's all starting to make sense why Moneybags McGovern wants to get involved.
No, I'm serious. It does not matter how much money you make. Novated leases from Paywise allow you to make one payment each payday. And that covers your vehicle finance, insurance, registration, fuel, servicing and tyres.
You know what then, mate? You better tell Maddie then, because she runs all your bank accounts, doesn't she?
Yes, she does, and as you know, Schoey, happy wife, happy life. We made it. There's a calculator on the Paywise website that shows you what the costs are based on the type of car, your salary, how much you drive. Check it out and find out how much you'll save with Paywise.
Does the calculator calculate how much of your contract you're going to have to give to Harley to keep in the club next year?
No, it depends how his back holds up, because I've been carrying you for the last 10 years.
Okay, righto. Well, we're backmen. We love Paywise. If you want to find out more, contact Paywise today about novated leasing. Any danger of you actually letting your lines, big fella?
I am a backman, not a lineman, a backman.
We know.
Yeah, I know. We all know.
Righto, there we go. Our friends at Paywise sorting us out. We've lost Dan. He's gone off to patent some more berries. But we are lucky to be joined in studio by our good friend of the podcast, Dean Margetts. How are you, mate?
Thanks, Will. Great to be back here again and great to be next to my old mate Hammer.
Dino.
Correct.
Yeah, it's good to be here again.
Now, did you see?
I
Hammer,
did.
can you reach and just show Dino these? Look, we're always told that umpires wouldn't take bribes, and we're very aware that that doesn't happen. But we thought maybe we could just interest you in a box of cherry ripes, perhaps.
You know that's how my payment scheme works with anything. So to have at
Leave
least
it for Dino.
at least to have at least 12 cherry ripes, and not the fun size, to have the proper
regular
size.
size.
Oh, yeah.
The $1.25 from Coles special is huge. I'm really happy.
Best
my
chocolates
next
in the
payment's a hat. I need to get a BackChat hat, so
Okay.
can we help you there?
We
so,
can sort that out, I think, Dan. Mate, thanks for coming in.
pleasure.
I'm sure everyone wants to know about umpiring and decisions made
Yeah.
and how we're interpreting the game. But I wanted to come to you because I feel like you give a pretty clean and honest answer. It's off the back of, I think it's actually off the back of more than Sean Darcy this week. I think it started well before then with interpretation of decisions in moments. So like even just last week with the Isaac Rankin running too far, it's a rule that we don't see called every time. The same as the Sullivan in the goal square. So just overall, broadly, like where do you sit on all of that as a former AFL umpire?
I'm a big believer in some of your best decisions are the ones we don't pay. The non-decisions. We talk about, sometimes there's 38 free kicks in a game, but I reckon sometimes there's 20, 25 ones we could pay, but we don't. We don't talk about them because they're free kicks where we're not going, what's that for? And I know Hammer as a player would know, when a whistle goes, you generally like to have a feel of what that free kick's like versus going, what's that for, Umpy? So we would rather umpires miss free kicks and pay what we call unwarranted free kicks. You talk about the Rankin run too far. I watch players run out of the goal square, 30, 35 metres, don't bounce it. And I'm thinking, well, we don't talk about those ones, but that happens every week. So,
Every week.
And I'm sure if we don't pay the one with Rankin, are we talking about a missed run too far? No, we're not. So the Darcy one, look, again, I know the AFL have ticked off it's a free kick, but if they've paid 4 this year, then we've missed 178 of them, in my opinion. I don't think it's designed for that. It's designed for when the umpire calls for a ball up and the player's on the ground, he pushes the ball away, you go, fair enough.
Yeah.
Or when the player's got it in their possession and starts going, hey, Will, go and man up over there.
Tom Liberatore.
Fair enough, exactly that.
Yes.
It's not designed for that. I mean, the speed of the Sullivan to Dacos to the umpire was 0.03 seconds. Now, I know it's not a time-stopping delay. It's more a setup delay. But I can guarantee you the 50,000 people at that game or watching at home, we're not going, hang on, the umpire's missed a time delay leniency free kick here. We're not talking about it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It was interesting to watch live. Make sure, if you want to ask Dino a question, by the way, if you're watching along on YouTube Live, send them in. Nick will have a look on YouTube and put them in here to ask Dino. So any questions I don't think Dino will take a backward step at too
No,
much.
love the questions.
Another one from the Freo game that I had. Did you see the Caleb Sarong deliberate out of bounds
Explain
late
it.
in the piece? It was from a stoppage or from a contest. He literally just hack kicked the ball out of midair. He didn't touch his hands on it. He's very good in tight, and he's just kicked the ball advanced to forward, and it's gone out of bounds. And the ump's paid deliberate. What is, like you talk about interpretation of the rule, I don't think he's had any deliberate intent to get the ball out of bounds. He's trying to get it forward, and it's just gone out. What's the line there?
So we've got to park the word deliberate now. Has he demonstrated sufficient intent to keep it in play? That's the rationale change. And what the umpires look for there is where the ball's kicked, which was at, say, 10 metres sort of west of the square, to where it lands, which is probably close to 5 metres. So the kick, the landing is a cue for the umpire. So they would have processed that as probably not demonstrating sufficient intent. If we don't pay it, we're probably saying just simply a skill error. But I understand the confusion it has with players as well. But the AFL's created rules, as we know, guys, where 666, stand rule, run out of the square. They want speed on the ball. Coaches want stoppages on the ball. So I guess we're finding that point in the game now where I reckon we've almost got to get some heavy hitters in the room and go, okay, this is how the game looks today. What do we want it to look like in 5-10 years? And we know the concussion situation that you've broadly spoken about, which I absolutely agree with. But with holding the ball, the insufficient intent and these time-wasting things, is that what we want our game to look like? And I reckon we've got to maybe have a pulse check and go, you know what? Time's enough now to maybe let's have a conversation about it.
So the insufficient intent was the one I was going to ask about, and the holding the ball interpretations. I think clearly, you may tell me wrong, but tell me I'm wrong, but I think clearly there's a mandate, or at least it's been a discussion point for the umpires. Hey, we need to let these go. We need to allow the players more time to get rid of the ball than we ever have, because you can just see it, and whether or not that's right or not. An example to throw numbers at you, Gold Coast Carlton game, there was 131 tackles and there was 3 holding the ball calls, which seems like a ratio that doesn't make too much sense. Would calling the holding the ball more often disperse the game more?
Possibly, but if we change the rationale, the interpretations about prior opportunity, no prior, genuine attempt, no genuine attempt, legal tackle, etc. So the Charlie Curnow one where Mac Andrews got him tackled and Damien Harvick blew up about it, I'm going, I can't wait to see that. Then when I saw it, I thought, what's the hullabaloo about? Because we can't call for a ball up when the ball's not pinned. So we've got to allow him to try and dispose, which he did. There was no dangerous tackle. I actually thought it was well umpired, that passage of play, but because Harvick blows up about it, that creates a bit of a sensation.
Harvick would be blowing up because I reckon Mac didn't bring him to ground because he was worried about his head. So maybe, is that a good
the way
thing?
the tackle was, I don't think he could ever get him to his head because Mac Andrews is nowhere near as big as Curnow, so I don't think that could happen. So he's fighting out of his weight division. But the duty of care is on the tackler 100%. But again, because we don't blow the whistle quick, doesn't mean the bloke has to drop him on his head for a DT either. So there's a duty of care on the tackle there. But again, it's a conversation we've got to have moving forward, I think, for the betterment of the game.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely saying that they're giving the player more time when the ball's in congestion. But I'm also saying, like, as soon as it's pinned, I felt like on the weekend I saw a lot of holding the balls given pretty much straight away. I'm like, oh, geez, the prior opportunity is sort of, I don't feel like he's had much prior. So, I mean...
There's that and there's the opposite, though.
Yeah.
There's like two big extremes.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a lot of... It's one way or the other, very, very...
I think going back a couple of Friday nights when Fife got pinged 3 times in the first sort of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He takes possession. He's tackled front
straight
time one
away.
step. It cannot be holding the ball. It has to be pilot error. I know the umpires all get coached the same, but what we've got to understand also is we've got umpires who've done 300, 400, 500 games, and we've got umpires doing their 11th game. So we get gaps in performance and gaps in skill, I guess, execution. Right. And it's like saying to a Fremantle player when you walk in, I want you to be playing like Andy Brayshaw or Caleb Strong in Game 5. It's not possible. We sometimes forget that the umpires are no different. We've got to allow them some time and some air to breathe and get their skill set up. And we're not always going to be Brett Rofe, Matt Stevic, Simon Meredith overnight. And we forget that with umpires. We give sometimes players latitude with their growth. Not every umpire walks in and becomes Harley Reid. That was Brett Roseby for us 20 years ago. So that's the balance we want everyone to get with perspective with umpiring, which sometimes we lose a bit.
Is there an analogy or a situation we can compare to players? Maybe it's a Jeremy Sharp missed goal opportunity to win the game with umpiring decisions that do clearly influence the game. So the Rankin one and the Sullivan one is what I'm thinking about. Like, are umpires instructed to, or do they adjudicate the game differently in moments where there's a minute to go, 2 minutes to go? Yeah.
They shouldn't. What we've forgotten about this whole Freo Collingwood game is, do you realise that if they didn't do that score review for that mark behind the goal line, Collingwood would lose by a point, and no one's even mentioned that. No one's even mentioned it.
Which
do you remember
one
that
was
one
that?
where the Freo player took the mark behind the goal line and
Yes.
they went for a review and they determined it was a point and they brought the ball back? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
That wasn't even mentioned. So we're talking about this one free kick on the 50 which determined the outcome of the game. The game was a draw. So if the score review doesn't say, can we go back and check that? There's an outcome. But
Yeah,
no
that's
one's mentioned
interesting.
that. So interesting, isn't it?
Hey, Hayden Dwyer on YouTube has sent a question in for you, Dino. Can you please ask Dean Margetts about what would happen if your own teammate high bumps them in a contest? Is that a tribunal consideration? Or should it be?
No, it's one of those ones where if I try and take a mark on Hamish on his teammate, is it a free kick for unrealistic attempt? No, because it's my teammate, so you can't pay a free kick for that. No, that definitely cannot happen. Thinking outside the box, yes,
Would it?
but no.
Yeah, and will we get ourselves into a situation where we may? Because I'm starting to hear listeners on different platforms, they'll be ringing in and say, well, where's the game going? And we're saying to, and we've put it on the agenda pretty heavily here at BackChat. Will that be where we go? Anyone that hits anyone high, is that going to...
Gee, I hope not.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So, yeah, that's a good question, but I don't think we're going down that path just yet. There's a few bigger issues in the world, I think, before we get to that line with teammates.
Not necessarily an umpiring consideration, but extra time or draws. What about as an umpire? Would you? Are you just happy to just go? I'm done.
Yeah.
Or would you rather 5 minutes each way?
I think most umpires are happy they're done. What we forget with players is there's rotations every 3, 4, 5 minutes. We never come off. No one ever thinks about that.
Should you?
It'd be nice for a break occasionally. Probably not. I mean, I think we like to compete, but I think when the game's over, the game's over. And I think the 2 points in this season with all the draws out, the 2 points is going to become pivotal. So
Tight.
We talk about stop changing the game, change more rules. So we want to change this again. Why don't we just leave the purity of our game? That's what we love about it. That's what AFL is different to NRL. It's different to soccer. We have our 2 points. We have a draw. We have unique things. We have a point that hits the post and goes through for the goals, and we go, no, that's a point. That's okay. That's our game. That's why it's great.
I like it.
Yeah, you can have your extra time in finals, I think. Speaking of the new umpires, and I'm just rambling. What's the kilometre difference now that you've got 4 in versus 3? We talk about you guys don't come off. How much benefit is that to an umpire?
Significant. So in 3 umpire system, I did a game once where I did about 15.5 Ks, and I know the 4 umpires now is anywhere between sort of 7 and 9.
Wow.
So it's a change. So we've had umpires do a game on a Thursday night and back up on a Sunday, and they feel quite good.
Okay.
And there's some games where I know where an umpire's paid 3 kicks for the match, where 3 umpire, you probably had 20 to 25 potentially. So the challenge for the umpire is don't feel like you need to blow the whistle when you haven't been involved. It's okay to call play on and not get involved. And I think sometimes maybe a young umpire might feel, I haven't paid a free kick here, I've got to get involved. No, you don't need to. The less is more scenario is okay in umpiring.
Absolutely right. This is going to be the final one, Dino. You to get you out and getting those cherry ripes.
Stuck in your cherry ripes.
Tell you what, you're gone by the time you get home. This is from West Walk 99.
There's your BackChat hat. Have a look at it.
Can I put that straight on?
Of course you
Because
can.
Oh, you're
Look at that.
beauty.
Jeez, I'm feeling really part of the family now.
Would you have been a backman as a player? Did you
No, I'm a
footy?
very wide receiver. Hated pain. Give me the ball, I run. I'm like a
wing.
Sharpie. I'm a modern day Sharpie sort of player.
Okay.
Sorry, is that a bad thing? For
He's a
Sharpie
modern
to
day
say?
Dean Margetts.
Yeah, that's
he's a
what I'm
modern day
saying.
Dean
As wide
Margetts.
as you can be, I'll be there with the blonde hair and the tips, and I'll run it for you.
Nice.
West Walk 99. Could you ask Dino about the slapped/spilled out in a tackle play on rule? Why is this a thing umps say it should be holding the ball illegal disposal, shouldn't it?
If you're tackled, you've had no prior, and it's jarred out, it's play on. Okay, that's the rule. And that's some of the rationale. There's about 6 or 7 layers applied to a holding the ball rule. And people say, he dropped the ball. Well, there's actually no such thing. It's either holding the ball or illegal disposal. I could spend 2 hours on this program going through it all, but that's for another day. But I think that's where we're going to just change the rationale. Do we want our game to get to a point where as soon as Hamish picks up the ball and I tackle him, it spills out, holding the ball? Some might say, yes, we do. It will take out the ambiguity of the game, but then we'll be having 120 free kicks. Then we'll be saying we open too much. So that's the balance we've got to work out. What do we want it to look like is, I think, the key.
People are sick of congestion from what I'm hearing.
And that's why we've created the dive on. Dive on it, don't knock it out, holding the ball. Get free kicks, open it up, insufficient intent, keep the ball in play, stoppages, get it going quick. So I can see the AFL's mandate, but unfortunately coaches want, no, slow, stoppage. That's where it's challenging.
Makes sense. Got anything else to Dino, Hammer?
No, that's
Good.
it's good.
All right, very
I like
good.
that. Good chat.
Dean Margetts, ladies and gentlemen. Dino, thanks for your time today, mate.
Anytime.
Thank you, Dino.
Love
Bang, yeah.
that. Really good. Really good.
I'm very
Have
happy.
some cherry ribes on your way.
Take
out.
them with you, mate.
Oh. They're going, mate. They're out the door.
Very good. All right, we're going to keep kicking on, Dino. So Dan might come in and swap in and figure out that somehow. I'm going to keep rolling. Dino, thanks for your time, mate.
Thanks,
well
Dino.
done.
Good to see you, mate.
Dean Margetts his out the window, out the door.
They
See
actually
you
are
later,
yours, Dino. Take them.
No, yeah, don't
yeah,
leave them
take
here.
'em. Yeah,
No,
God,
I hate cherry ripes. You said they were very good.
They're
See you,
my
mate.
favourite
Thank you very
chocolate.
much. Yeah, no worries, Dino. Jules or Nick, can you just help Dino jump out of the studio? Now, Hammer,
Yes.
you told me cherry ripes. You love them,
Love them. Favourite chocolate.
really?
Yes, definitely.
I'm a big no to cherry ripes.
Absolute favourite
Yeah.
chocolate.
Give me a
No
coconut rough
question.
every day.
This is good. This is a good thing, Dino, as he yells his way out of here. You don't want someone who likes the same chocolate bars as you, because then you got to share it.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That
So
is
you
true.
and I can be mates, Dino.
If it was a
Don't
box
worry.
of Moros, I'd be all over it.
Moros.
I love
Bye-bye,
a Moro.
Dean.
Moro is just a poor man's Mars bar. Let's
That's
be
better.
honest.
Hey,
Correct.
because just on the just
You call
chatting with
Moros?
Margetts and
Moros?
stuff. Someone brought up with me over the weekend this new scoring system they've devised within the AFL, and it's like, why are we the only league in the world which
Points for trying.
points for trying, or like point a penalty? So
Good try.
he came up with this thing. It's called like the behind blunder or something. And basically what it means is like when you score a point, you get deducted a point, right? And he's gone through and like redone the ladder based on
that.
and it obviously
Sorry, can you repeat that? I wasn't listening.
so if you kick a point, it
Oh,
deducts
there's another
deducts a point from your score. So instead of being given a point, it takes a point off.
What if you? Okay.
But we
What if you kick it on the full?
Yeah, nothing.
So that's better than kicking
Better
a
than
point.
kicking-
Yes.
point.
So it's like if
and
you're
he's
gonna,
redone the ladder.
he's redone the ladder, and it's pretty similar, but like Bulldogs are like third or something because they're quite accurate.
We're not the only league in the world that gives you a point for not getting a goal.
What would be the other one?
NFL, NRL, like you can kick a field goal because you can't score a touchdown or a try. You
Right.
can give up halfway and
But you
have-
can't
have
miss a
go
field
and-
goal.
There's not like an extra bit of the end
Yeah, but
zone
like
in
you've
the
gone to
NFL
an-
where it's like, oh, you almost got one, but you can have two
So
points.
it's an easier thing. Kicking a field goal is easier than getting a touchdown
Yeah, you're
because
right.
you can just stop and it's a bit more controlled.
And what about
kicking a point's easier than a goal?
What about Gaelic footy? Like you can go through the net, so you can go over the
Yeah,
top.
well, that's options. So you wouldn't say that a behind is an option, right? It's like, ugh.
You don't
just didn't
don't
get a goal.
purposely try and kick it behind.
Right.
So anyways, food for
Yeah,
thought.
food for thought.
It was interesting. I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get back into the footy chat, I think, boys. That was good chat from Dino.
Yeah,
by
very
the way.
good chat from Dino.
West Coast Adelaide. Look, we touched on it a little
I don't
bit
want to talk about it.
from the top. There's no positives.
No positives whatsoever. We just look
Barris
awful.
and McGovern were good
Oh,
still.
Barris
Of course
can't.
they
We can't have 24 Barris. It's like
I feel
how is-
sorry for him.
I know.
So do I.
He got peppered all game.
He was
just
just
got.
yeah.
If he played for Collingwood or for Sydney, can you imagine how fucking good I guess he could have played for Sydney. That was
Could
who
have,
the offer was.
But he's a
from.
loyal man. He's
he,
in Perth.
he was exceptional.
He was so good. Instead of talking about is there anything else you want to talk about with that? Can I just instead of talking about West Coast, the Dallas Mavericks are a game away from entering the NBA Finals,
Oh, you've certainly changed topics.
Yeah.
and we're 3-0 against the Timberwolves. I say we're a game away from the finals, and then we will go beat the Celtics. I'm going to be following a team this NBA season that wins a championship, and for me, it is a bigger deal for the Mavericks to win a championship than West Coast winning a premiership. That's a bigger
Is it
success
really?
thing for me.
For me,
Mm.
I have more interest in the BackChat FC Monday night outdoor soccer team than I do in the Dallas Mavericks. This entire studios has been crowded around the fucking TV for the NBA Finals.
It's a bloody good
Haven't
time.
heard a word from any of you all year until we start.
Yeah.
Apart from you, Dan, you're a big fan. Julian doesn't even like NBA yet. Fucking, he's there. Fucking, tell you what, Jaiden, don't hear a word about it now. He's clapping at the TV. Right? Damo comes in here. All he talks about is NBA, NBA this, NBA that. I couldn't care less about the NBA.
Yeah, there we go. I don't want to talk about the Eagles, but I'll talk about the Mavs.
I want to
couldn't-
talk about.
I couldn't name 10 players in the
I could
NBA.
never
I don't think.
cry.
Oh,
I just can't stand
it's
it.
okay.
What about this man? You'll know about him, Chad Warner.
Oh, you got
So
Good play.
some headlines
Come
coming
home,
across
Chad.
from Big Chat. I want to read you
Come
some.
home,
This
Chad.
isn't the BackChat back page, but this is a bit of newsy stuff for you, Hammer.
BackChat front page.
That's correct. Star midfielder Chad Warner has put contract talks on hold with the Swans as his value continues to soar towards the $1
Correct.
million mark.
towards $1 million. He should have already shit that in.
Presented with a contract extension by the Premiership favourites earlier this year, Warner 23 declined the offer according to football
Smart.
sources in Perth. Are you Sauce in here.
Smart.
So his manager Luke Morabito was coy about the client's future when contacted on Sunday, saying only that he wanted to win a premiership with the Swans. Can you find me Gavin Bell's? I thought Gavin Bell's quote was going to be in here. Gavin Bell, GM of football at the West Coast Eagles. I want to read his quote on this situation, but while we find that, Chad Warner, would you have him at the Eagles? Would you have him at the Dockers Hammer?
Oh, I mean, yes.
Yes.
What? You certainly would. You'd have him at either of the two.
Yeah, of course
teams.
you would. Could either of them get them is the second question.
I think you can get. I think West Coast can get him. I don't know that Freo can.
Or
Do you mean financially or just because of the team?
Because
both?
of a bit of both, yeah. I don't know. West Coast will next year be. Is Tim Kelly's deal up yet? Is he getting renegotiated? Maybe.
I'm not sure.
I'll tell you
Elliot
what,
Yeo,
we'll
but-
say goodbye to Elliot Yeo. You can go to Adelaide,
Yeah.
mate. Welcome home, Chad Warner.
You're going to be paying Harley Reid and Chad Warner.
Let's just
Harley Reid and one
fine.
other guy.
We found this quote from Gavin Bell, GM of footy at the West Coast Eagles. Let's just hypothetically say in 18 months' time, and Chad comes out of contract and he wants to come home. Hypothetical situation, and you're the Sydney Swans and you're negotiating with the West Coast Eagles. Would you or would you not pull this quote out from the GM of football at West Coast Eagles? We are aware that Chad has had 18 months. We are aware that Chad. I love the name Chad, by the way.
Yeah.
The Chad. As you said, we're aware that
The
Chad. We're aware that the Chad has 18 months left on his current contract with Sydney. If the Chad wishes to return to Perth at any point to continue his career, we would love to have him play at our club. Do you like that?
I do like that from the GM of football.
I don't know if I do. I
Why?
reckon Sydney goes in 18 months' time. Hey, remember how you would love him at your club? Yeah, of course West Coast would love him at the club. Of course they would. Of course Freo would. Of course Carlton would.
Yeah.
Collingwood. They will all love them. I reckon Sydney just goes, yeah, thanks very much for that. Here's,
wouldn't
here's
Syd-
another zero, thanks.
Sydney were going to do that anyway,
Yeah,
you'd
that's a
say,
good point.
right? Like
Yeah,
Gavin Bell, I think it's not strong enough. I go, we are moving heaven and earth to get Chad Warner in our team.
We want him now.
We want him right now, and we will do whatever it takes. I mean,
Have
that's
Harley
probably
Reid.
tampering.
Have Harley Reid.
Yeah, we'll have Harley Reid.
No. We'll do whatever it takes.
Oh, no.
Have Harley Reid.
No. You're not
Right.
getting
So
Harley.
my third question on this matter is, okay, we've said that the Eagles are more likely. What would the Eagles have to give up to get Chad Warner? Because at the end of his second deal, I don't think he can just come to the club for nothing. They've got to give him something. What are you giving to him? Who are you giving them?
Take a pick, whatever.
a pick.
You'd give
Take
him anyone. I'd
How many? You're going to need at least two first rounders at the very least. I
Fine,
think.
take it.
Right.
But I don't know.
So can you remember a situation
Yeah,
at
Tim
West
Kelly.
Coast
Yep.
Eagles
Waterman,
about 4
Waterman
years
and
ago?
Barras.
Hey?
Give him Waterman and Barras.
So Tim Kelly finished third in the Brownlow medal.
Yep.
Right.
Is Tim Kelly that Tim Kelly, is he better than Chad Warner is now?
I don't know.
No.
You want to give him Waterman and Paris?
Give him Waterman and Barras.
Really?
That'd be the only thing that they. Who else would they want?
Yeah, correct.
They're not going to want anyone else.
So they're not.
You're not giving him Harley,
Yes.
Of course.
and you're not
Do you know
like
what?
and
Oscar Allen.
What
the
is-
captain.
You're giving him the captain of
Mate,
your
we've
side.
got Jake Waterman. He's the best player.
That's what. If I was Sydney, I'd be like, give me Waterman and Barras.
Correct, and they're not going to do
And
that,
they're not
so
going to
they're
do
not
that.
going to
They're
get the
not
deal
going
done.
to get. Yeah, it's
Have we
going to be
just
a very
established that?
difficult. It's going to be very difficult to get the deal done
Okay, very good.
because he's not a free agent yet.
Hey, boys, quick question.
Yes.
Looked at the ladder. At this point of the season, 10 rounds out, 11 rounds in. How many rounds
11
in?
round with 12 rounds. Opening round.
11 rounds in plus opening round. Right, I'm not counting that because it was
Bullshit.
stupid.
It was stupid. It
Right.
was the dumbest thing. ever.
Have we ever had a worse second through 13 teams in AFL history? So you look at Sydney, best team in
Best
the comp.
team in the comp by a margin.
Then go down from there and start asking questions about the rest
Yeah,
of them
put it
because
this way,
every
Hal.
single one of them has questions to be answered. Second place, Essendon.
104%.
104%, haven't won a final in 50 years. I don't know if I can trust them yet. They're good, but they're in second, but they're not that good. Like,
Yeah.
would they win the Could you say they're going to win the premiership? No.
No, you couldn't say
No.
that. Yep.
Port Adelaide.
No.
They almost lost to Hawthorn last week at home.
Just a segue
Should've
from that.
lost.
Just a segue. You said about we're speaking of TABtouch and Freo. You said they were $42 with 5 minutes to go. I had a conversation with a mate the other day. 40 seconds left in the Melbourne in the Port Adelaide Hawthorn game.
They need to kick 2 goals.
Kane Farrell was running away from
Yes.
his goal,
Yes.
running back to pick a ground
It was
ball
a 2
up
on 1.
at
Five on one.
their back 50 with 40 seconds to go. What would the live odds have been for Port Adelaide to win?
A
They would
thou-
have been
1,000
50,000 to
10,000
1.
Like you run 50,000 simulations and they don't kick
They
the 2
don't
goals.
win that. Anyway,
So
like, yeah, they're
that's Port
not.
Adelaide.
Yep.
And they're third. Melbourne.
Gutless.
Lost
No Brayshaw, no Melbourne.
Lost
Yeah,
to
true.
West Coast.
Yeah, they've got no ticker after Angus is gone.
Yeah, correct. Thank you very much, Hamish. So that's Melbourne, 4th place. GWS, we love them.
Need everyone
Back
back.
into form. Back into form.
They
and
need
you-
everyone to
they're
be
there.
fit again.
But like,
Battle of the Bridge.
they
for the
just
grand
lost 3
final.
games in a row.
Yeah,
Like,
because they had injuries.
they're not
they,
very good.
They need their best team is good.
Stephen Canilo's out now.
Their,
Josh Kelly's out
their
now.
best team is good,
Jack
but they
Buckley's
don't
out.
have it. Exactly.
Okay.
Geelong lost 4 in a row.
Yeah.
And they're sliding. They're on a slippery slope out of there. Collingwood, they might be the second best team.
Collingwood
in
are the best second.
Mason
best
Cox
team.
out now for 6 weeks.
Well, that's a
no
big
Cox,
loss.
no Collingwood.
Yes, correct. No Cox, no cock. Now, 7, they're in 7th, though. Like, they're barely in the 8. They've just entered the 8.
just entered the 8.
Carlton, they're not very good.
No, they've fallen off a cliff.
But, like, they won last week, but, like, was it a good win? I don't really know. Fremantle.
will not win a final with the way they're playing.
Correct. Gold Coast, I don't have them playing finals. They're in 10th.
No.
They can't win away from home. Western Bulldogs, I don't know what team's rocking up every week.
Yep. Their best is awesome. Their worst is the worst.
Adelaide looked amazing on the weekend.
Yeah.
They play West Coast. If they don't play West Coast, they look shit. Right? So Brisbane are shit.
Oh my
horrible.
gosh.
Right? Hawthorn might be the 3rd best team in the competition. They look half good at the moment. And they're in 14th place. I just think the rest of the comp, other than Sydney, no one's good.
No one's beating Sydney in a grand final.
You know how we have years where there's like 4 teams, like
Yeah, yeah.
Collingwood, Port's amazing, Collingwood's killing
Sydney
it.
are on
Brisbane's dominating, Melbourne's
150%.
amazing.
The next best is the Bulldogs at 121.
121% in 11th
And they're in
spot.
11th.
That's crazy.
I think it's a strange year
It
coming
is.
up,
It
fellas.
is very strange.
Nicholas
Yes.
Westall.
We got lots of good comments on YouTube, but I'm just very excited. This will be 20 years anniversary of Essendon not winning a final.
Is that right?
I reckon they're going to go top 4
Flag.
straight
Bounce.
sets.
Straight top 4 straight sets.
Yep.
And lose 2 finals
2
again.
finals. Call it
That
now.
would be
Yeah.
You're calling
Just
that for your own
beautiful.
team.
Oh, Essendon.
No, no,
Oh,
no, no.
Essendon.
Fucking
Sorry.
hilarious.
Wow. Jeepers.
You are well off the mark.
Yeah, well off.
Max Hansen had a great comment. He goes, the Eagles have had the toughest fixture out of any team
Yeah.
Dan's
from
been
round
saying that.
Of course.
0
Dan's been saying that.
to
We've
11.
had that for 4 years.
So do you think you
So
can
do you
play?
want to hear that they played?
Yes.
1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 17th.
Gee
Wow.
whiz.
There we go.
That could
They're
be a
gonna
social
win
clip right there.
They're going to win the next 2 games, West Coast.
Lock.
Yeah,
St
we'll
Kilda
beat St
and
Kilda at
North
home.
Melbourne.
And who?
Saints in North Melbourne.
Oh, God. If they lose to North Melbourne, pack it up. See you later. Right? Pack Harley Red
I
up.
hope-
Ship him off. Get Chad Warner.
I hope Harley has like 30 and kicks 5 again.
Oh yeah, he will. He had a quite.
pretty good.
Did he end up with 5 touches on the weekend?
He had a bit more than that, I think.
Harley,
I think
no,
he had-
way more than
He
that.
had like 17, I think, in the end.
Mate, like,
17.
He got like goal of the week, took mark of the round.
14, yeah.
It just dominated, that's all. Boys, this came across the desk. I want you two to pick this apart because I liked it, enjoyed it. This is from the Washed Up Pod, boys. I've done a few things with them. Very good lads out of Melbourne. They've created, the premiership window?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yes.
You got to be in the top 6 for points scored and points
Yep.
against. Well, they've made a commentary and special comments
Ah.
window.
Wow, okay.
Right, premiership window. Let's have a look at it, boys. I think it's bloody brilliant. Can we make it any bigger? Can we get me off the screen? Is that possible? It doesn't matter if you can't. So knowledge is the vertical axis.
Yep.
And likability is the horizontal axis. Right. So
Yeah.
I'm on this, by the way.
Oh,
boys.
you are.
Where are you?
I'm
You're
on
up
this.
top.
I look like God. At the top
Wow,
of
yeah,
it.
you are knowledgeable and sort of likable.
I would say there's a few things that stick out to me off the bat. Paps should be in the top right corner, and you can't get any higher than Paps.
For knowledge, so you think
Knowledge and likability. Put him in the top right corner.
because they've got him at.
He's not at he's WA, so that's why
They've got
no
him in
one-
mid range. They've got
Yeah.
him at
Yeah,
pretty
he's-
likable, pretty
They're biased.
Yeah, that's good.
great. Thank you, boys. That's fine. So Luke Hodge sits in the premiership window. Very likable, very knowledgeable.
Very. Yep.
I'd have.
I don't know about Daisy being up there, mate.
Daisy's improving in his knowledge. He played for Collingwood and Carlton. I don't know how likable that is.
He's very he loves Collingwood when he commentates. He's cheering and stuff.
Sorry.
JB down the bottom of that earth. Look at him.
Your uncle's
Terribly
very far.
knowledgeable and not very likable.
Who is below David King? Straight line down.
Where is
Abby.
Great.
No.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, couldn't tell you with.
that
I couldn't
looks
pick
like
him from a lineup of 1.
who is that?
Look. Oh yeah. I like to
How's
focus
Joe
on positives.
Watson?
I don't
Joe-
think
Where's
my.
Joe
I don't
Watson
think
at?
my.
Yeah.
So I'm in.
You're in a good
I've been
spot.
grouped with the biased trifecta, which is Hutto, me, and Mark Prosciutto.
Yeah.
Which I think is fucking hilarious.
That's pretty good.
But you're pretty
I
good on
don't
the
think
likability.
my knowledge is not at a 2. Like my footy knowledge
Right.
is not at a 2.
Nah, but you're
My
yeah.
shit
what you
talk
provide.
ability is.
yeah.
You provide good knowledge
But
on
that's
the game.
not knowledge.
Mm.
Like, where's Pav? Pav's not even on there.
Yeah.
Can't see Pav. Pav's off.
He's
Off.
under Hodgie.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, that's
Welcome
funny.
to it.
BT, Kelly Underwood, and JB down the bottom.
Any other comments?
Yeah, who else am I looking at there?
Kelly Underwood.
Kelly
Just-
Underwood's not like. Yep.
Yep.
yeah. No, that's fair enough.
Okay,
The
very
Orange
good. We
team in
like it.
2014.
Well done, boys. Well done, Hodgie, for being in the
That's
premiership
humour.
window.
Yeah,
Hey, boys,
congratulations,
coming up
Hodgie.
on Wednesday, the mid-season draft
Oh
is
boy,
coming
I'm
up.
excited about it.
And we spoke about this on the Shelter Footycast. Mark Reddings and myself, we broke
Yes.
it down, give you some highlights. Let's have a listen to it right now. Just remember with the mid-season draft, it's not early access at talent, it's late access. You're actually getting 6 more months to look at guys that didn't get picked up last year. So that doesn't mean there's not good players in there, because you can develop a lot in six months. But that's what this draft is. There's some Western Australian hopefuls, and will Fremantle and West Coast be taking a pick?
Well,
we don't know that.
We don't know that. But what I will say is you've summed it up really well that people get excited about. It is. It's just because you add a player to your list. But these are players that haven't been able to quite get on lists just yet. So, and the Eagles have been quite prolific over the years, haven't they? Jai Cully, Marek, Ryan Marek.
Ivan's his long lost cousin at Richmond. You were about to say Ivan. Don't worry, I was. I'll put my hand up. I've said that a few times.
Most famous of all, Marlon Pickett. I think was it 2018?
Yeah, right.
18,
Yeah, it was too. Yep.
19, where it was.
Yeah, came in and played in like 2 flags. He won the
First
VFL
game, grand final.
Yeah, but I think he won the VFL Premiership the week before.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that. Look, this year in brief, there's going to be a few West Aussies spoken about. Jasper Skate from West Perth is a forward, high in discussions. Jacob Blight from Peel Thunder had a really good state game as well. I know that he and the Milan Murdoch were tracked by the Eagles, I think, just given to their GPSs. I think my mail at the Eagles, they were closely monitored. So Murdoch's a good little player, won the Simpson medal.
Yep.
You know, he's diminutive. He's like Caleb Daniel.
That's best on in the grand
Best
final.
on, yes, correct, in the state game. So those blokes have been mentioned. I know that Matty Carr's son was talked about in discussions, but he's going to sort of just cool his heels.
Right.
I think it's Jasper. I
I won't know
corrected. No, but Matty Carr's son, so apologies, I don't know his first name. But there's 3 or 4 others there, including a guy called Darcy Craven, who Hammer just mentioned to me last night that he's been looked at. He's diminutive. He took a specky on the weekend.
Oh,
So-
you called that?
Yeah.
Saw that. That was good. Good call.
Oh, it was at the end of the game, but it was nice to see him take the grab. Yeah, so there'll be probably 5 or 6 potentials. There might only be 1 or 2 get taken, but yeah, Wednesday afternoon, and the Eagles and Dockers. Well, given Eagles' injury level isn't as high as it was last year, maybe they'll look at someone, but yeah, no guarantees.
So Jaiden Newcombe is also a star-studded mid-season draftee. What I will say on this, Skate, is all those names you just listed, I really think that's what the waffle will need to turn into. I think we'll have a national reserves comp within the next 5 years. The waffle should be, and the other state leagues, the Sandful, VFL to an extent, but a level below NEFL, whatever the state leagues are, they should be breeding grounds for kids that don't get drafted as an 18-year-old and can go back, play senior footy, and that it's a cooking pot for talent. Because I've seen, let me tell you, recruiters miss a lot more than they hit. Right, and I was at a footy club for 14 years. I saw a lot more leave than stay and have good careers. So a lot of the time they're throwing darts at the dartboard, and I mean that with the greatest respect. But I wasn't the most talented. I wasn't the best player that ever drafted by West Coast. But I hung around for 14 years, so I knew a thing or two about what I was doing in there. But I saw a lot of kids that just were never going to make it, and you could tell within a week at the football club. So
hang on, just so you say in a week, you're talking about by their demeanour, by their physicals?
Attitude.
Just on
Mate, you don't start a footy club from skills or talent. It's 90% hard work, listening, communicating. You get told to do something, do it, like all that stuff like you do in a workplace. Some kids just don't have that. And
Really?
Mate.
How do you make it into an 8? No, that sounds really
I don't know.
naive. How you get to that point and clubs think, and then the player doesn't deliver on, at least die trying.
But then they're there for 2 years and they've got resources around them and they still don't make it. But I'm not speaking out of school here. If you look back at every club in the history of the AFL, of
course,
there's kids that come in there for 2 years and see you later. And it's like, what do we see here, guys? Are we just watching? Are we looking at stats? Do we actually speak to the player? It's not until you get them in an environment, an elite environment, that you know they can make it. So back on the mid-season draft, some of these kids running around the waffle, I can guarantee they would be good AFL players, and they're just not in the environment yet. So that's what's exciting about it. you might get five kids that you get them in the elite environment and they go to Jaiden Newcombe. Like, he's Hawthorn's best midfielder. That's what's exciting about it.
That's
okay.
good.
See you later. Bye-bye. See you
Schoey
later,
just named, for everyone who you can't obviously hear us during that, Schoey just listed off 15 of his teammates in past years that were just shit. He knew he was done in a week. See you later.
Yeah.
Me, myself included.
No, absolutely
no,
not.
You're right, though. You're dead right. And there is so much talent in the waffle that it's just, you got to be given a chance. Like, I would be very surprised if the West Coast Eagles don't pick up Milan Murdoch next week.
Great.
As a Noah Long replacement.
He's East Freo.
East Freo, I think he's 23 or 24.
He almost snatched the Sandover from you. Like he
would have won the Sandover medal last year.
He got injured or something?
Yeah, he got injured, which was awesome. Thanks, Milan.
That's how it goes.
He would have won the Sandover medal last year if not for the fact that he got injured. He won the Simpson medal in the grand final, won the Simpson medal on the weekend in the state game.
So can play.
Can play. Is one
What
of those
sort of player
guys
is
that where West Coast are at the moment, you need a guy like him who is, regardless of score, is going to give bring 100% effort every week. Yes. He's an animal. He's not a very big guy.
Yes.
But he leads the league in tackles. He's a contested animal, and he finds the footy, and he's very smart. So,
what about the kid that
Darcy Craven, our young fella? He's a young boy from Bridgetown. Young, very talented.
Don't look at him.
Don't look at him. No one touch him. It'd be great if he does, but fingers crossed that he doesn't.
He's a good player.
Good player. Yeah, we've got a good one.
All right, we like it.
Win a premiership with him this year, and then
win a premiership. You
next
draft
year.
him at the end of the year. That's fine by me.
A couple of misses by me along the show. A big thanks to ID Athletic for bringing Dean Margetts to us earlier on in the show. If you want to go and find yourself some merch, some uniforms, your team wear.
Have you guys sorted out with ID Athletic yet for your BackChat soccer team?
IDathletic.com. It should be the ID Athletic BackChat Football Club. We haven't done it yet, but there are only 5 of us playing. If you do want some merch, by the way, if you want this hat, if you want Dino's hat, if you want a bit of Wharfie time, which is right here, if you want a hoodie for...
Did you see on the weekend they did It's Wharfie Time on the screen at Freo?
You're fucking kidding me.
I've just remembered this. On the big screen, they had this big thing around It's Wharfie Time.
Have we sent them a legal letter?
We should cease and desist. You want to see it?
We should cease and desist the Freo Football Club. They're going to cease and desist us, aren't they? If you want to buy some merch, hoodies.
It's getting cold.
I'm wearing a hoodie every day to work.
It was 13 degrees this morning.
I was wearing one before.
Chilly.
We've got some hoodies in the merch room. I think you should buy some.
I think
it's like cashmere.
They are beautiful hoodies.
We've got cashmere hoodies. Backchatstudios.com.au. That's bloody brilliant stuff. ID Athletics making all that, by the way. Let's get into this one, the BackChat page, shall we? Far out. Bloody welcome. Can't even speak, but we're here. It's a BackChat back page, bringing you the maybe underrated a word that springs to mind. Might be because it's in the first heading that I'm about to read out. Let's get into it. The 10 most underrated senior players in AFL Townsville. If you haven't heard of these players yet, you soon will. They're often unsung heroes making a big splash at their club. Meet some of the underrated senior players in AFL Townsville. Number 9, James Sullivan.
Jimmy. Good man, Jimmy.
Sully plays for the Herbert Park Tigers, and I'm not going to read that part out, but generally plays as a defensive forward, but always does a pretty good job on the opposition's best ball user out of their back half, and usually bags a goal or two for himself and for his troubles. A lot of the work he does is team-orientated, but he operates at a consistently high level.
Love that from you, James. What is... Who actually wrote this?
Number 5, Jack Appleby, plays for the Currawa Swans. Mr. Consistent on the half-back flank. Currawa officials suspect opposition players may not even know who he is.
Jack Appleby signs for the mid-season draft for West Coast.
But when it comes to picking up the footy or marking it above his head, Appleby plays a lot taller than his height suggests and is super consistent.
Consistency is important.
Number 1, Brody Flew. God, you sound sick, Brody. A dour lockdown defender who knows his role inside and out. Flew is one of the thoroughgoers, first picked every week because he gets the job done. It doesn't matter who he is marked up against. Punches more than he marks. Defence is his number 1 priority, and he's happy to sit back in the pocket and erase the opposition's most dangerous forward from the contest. Good golly God, bless you.
Thank you.
Fluey's made Dan sick.
Brody Flu's made Dan sick. But where was this one written?
Fuck, I don't
Do we know where that one got written?
Nicholas.
Townsville Courier.
The
great
Townsville
people from
Courier.
Townsville.
Love that. We love local news.
A furious fan calls out AFL over sneaky move. If you're watching Hawthorn,
Sneaky move.
if you're watching Hawthorn take on Brisbane on Sunday from the comfort of home, Marvel Stadium looked like it had a decent crowd in attendance, didn't it, Hamish?
It did. I was watching that and thought, Jesus, packed.
But as one furious Lions fan revealed, they just literally had a fucking opinion on this. The reality was nothing like the viewers were seeing on their TV screens, Hamish. A crowd of 29,664 people filed through the Marvel Stadium gates, just to tick over half the official capacity.
Wow.
So how did the stadium look like it was jam-packed, Hamish? While it's not an uncommon practice to be done, especially the ticket sales are on the lower end of the scale, it didn't sit well with one of the Lions fans because multiple sections around the ground were closed off to those in attendance, Hammer.
Wow. Can't go and get your chips from your favourite chip vendor. On level 3, aisle 38.
We're at the hot dog stand and we looked up at the MCG, the different
Oh, yeah,
dogs.
the Marvel dogs.
Get your dogs. Genius idea, AFL. Let's close half the general admission seating so it looks full of for the broadcast. I love unnecessarily being sitting in the nosebleeds. That's from Nicole Chapman.
I think they do that after the fact, Nicole. I think all the tickets are available to begin with, and then when they don't sell, they might just shut a few bits off.
100 selfies. GWS young stars epic fail. In just his 7th AFL game, defender Lee Collier played a pivotal role in GWS's huge victory over the Cats on Saturday night against Geelong. At just 22 years old, the Kenyan-born youngster then duly soaked up the moment, signing autographs and taking selfies with fans after coming from the ground following the Crunch win. The only problem, Hammer? The entire Giants team was deep inside the dressing room and about to sing the team song.
I saw that.
Aaliyah added he was extra motivated to make an impact after dropping a market opportunity earlier in that final quarter before taking the clutch late grab. I was pretty filthy with the one I dropped. He said, "We're not happy with soft drops in our back line."
Nice.
Says it leak. That's pretty much it.
Do you reckon if he took a selfie midway through the game, would he get done for having a phone during AFL guidelines?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, correct. That was the BackChat back page, brought to you by BackChat. If you want to sponsor that, give us a call. The BackChat sponsored athlete. We got an update across the league, Hammer, across some of our teams, some of our sponsored athletes. Adelaide, James Borlase.
He was very good.
Sounds like an Italian
Mr.
dish.
Mayo.
He was excellent.
Right, you get your spaghetti bolognese and
Yeah,
you
you
get
get a
your
side of
carbonate.
Jack Borlase.
Jack.
Sorry, does this
Name's
have
James.
Borlase in it?
James Borlase.
Can we get a side of Borlase sauce, please? 10 possessions, 9 kicks, 8 spoils, and 7 marks.
spoils.
10,
The
9, 8, 7.
Borlase ragu. That's what it sounds like.
Sam Collins was very good. 9 spoils on the day.
He
for
was
Sammy.
he was very good, Sammy Collins. Yeah.
Just missed out on votes, I believe. In the
Charlie
BackChat
Curnow
back-
kicked 4.
Yes, that's why he missed out.
It didn't miss out because of that, but he
Contributes.
He kicked 4.
Dougal Howard, who we look after at St Kilda, who we're going to try and speak to on Friday.
Great.
They play here against the West Coast Eagles. Not his fault. The Saints are shit. I
No,
would like to put
not
that
his
on.
fault. He's been good.
I'd like to put that on the agenda.
He's got the Tom Barris effect on him, where he's like, what else can he do?
He had 5 touches and 9 spoils. He's doubled his touches with
good.
spoils. I think that's the sort of operator
Yeah,
we want to be
love it.
representing.
I told you that I ran through Dougal Howard in my only AFL game, didn't I?
No.
Yeah, I'd like to find that somewhere. It was on my only game. I got a handball and so the ball bounced up to me and I picked it up and ran into.
I
and
just
ran
always
through.
think we were playing Brisbane because it was at the Gabba.
Yeah,
but
no,
we-
it was St Kilda and it was Dougal Howard.
Did you have that game on tape somewhere?
It'll be back in the archives somewhere, I'm sure.
We could go and find that because I ran through plays in the forward line. Don't think he plays anymore. I ran through a St Kilda player that day. A couple of heroes.
A couple of big heroes.
Come out of the car park at the Gabba.
Could we watch that game together one time?
Sure.
yeah.
Like the grand final rewatches.
I
Yeah.
wasn't great.
How many touches did you have?
5. Just the 5.
We just
5 more than I've ever had.
Yeah, I played
That's a great
50% game time in a shortened game. I played half. I was a
Efficient,
midfielder
though.
for my entire career as a waffle AFL player, and then played half forward flank and got told to, as soon as the ball got thrown up, run away from the contest.
All right, we're watching that.
Hey, by the way, CJ's back, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's
Ooh.
back in a big way.
All right. And he's very good too. And last little update, Western Bulldogs, Liam Jones, 17 possessions, 1 handball. Just a 16 kicks, 1 handball. I like that.
Like that a lot.
8 spoils. Our footy tips at the L for $250 voucher goes to Molly. She got 9 and a margin of 2.
That's
She's
clutch.
had a fucking ripping weekend. She's picked every winner, 2 points off the margin on Thursday night footy.
She picked a draw? Can you pick draws?
Nah,
or do you just get given a
whatever
win?
team you get.
What's that? Nicholas? Can we speak to Nicholas, please?
Everyone gets the draw.
Yeah,
Everyone gets the draw.
everyone gets
Okay.
the draw.
Okay.
My one of my friends, Jack, who is a listener,
Buckley?
Nah, Jack Gilfetter. He'll be listening, and he always does. He got 8 this week, but we convinced him to change Hawthorn to Brisbane at the last minute. So he would have got 9. I don't think he got the margin of 2.
Picking
but,
Hawthorn's a good effort.
Yeah, he picked Hawthorn and then changed it at the last minute.
Molly, enjoy the
Because of us.
$250
Well done, Molly.
voucher. I would like to
let
put
us know,
on
Molly.
the table, and Nick, I'll come to you in just 1 second. $250 at the Alford, just up the road from us. We have not
So
had one
close.
offer.
Not
yeah,
one.
not one.
Not one offer said, "Hey boys, come and have a beer with the
Have we
girls, the
also
boys."
seen anyone put it on the socials?
Haven't seen any socials.
Disappointing.
Ryan Robson,
Robbo,
calling him out.
fistballer.
We know you won 1 week.
Yeah.
We know you have a voucher. We have not received
We
a
know
text.
we took you across the other side of the
took
country.
you across the Atlantic.
We took
did,
you under
yep.
our bosom.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
We
And
fed
now
you
Dan
fists.
painted.
You've
and
gone out and
took
you
you
started
under
your
a
own
bosom.
podcast. You're
Wow.
doing that.
Has he?
Has
Yeah, he
really?
started his own podcast. He's got a voucher. Ryan Robson, I'm putting
He's
you on
probably
notice.
resold. He's probably got a
Yeah.
$200 voucher at the Alfred now. Nicholas, what did you want from me, mate?
I was just going to say, I had this idea about tipping. You should be able to tip a draw in tipping
That's huge.
and get 2.
Oh,
Just the
you
two?
Get just 2. I'd get
Nah, you get
10.
No, you get 2. You get
Why would you, tipping a draw
That's-
get 2?
It happens like 6 times a year.
Sure,
less than
but-
that. Way less than that.
I
4
think
times a
you
year.
think 10.
I think 4
10,
points.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
you're onto
gotcha.
something
You're
with getting more.
guaranteeing yourself a failed pick, other than like 4 times.
I think you should be able to. I think
Should
you
be
pick a
worth 5
draw
at
and you
least.
get at least 10 because that's a perfect round is 9.
Yes.
If there's 6 draws a year, you can't.
Yes.
You're not going to win by tipping all
No,
draws.
That's
but
a good point. Yeah, so it just draws the whole time.
yeah, if you pick every draw, you might. So how many would you be on? You'd be on 30 points this
Yeah,
year.
great. So you can't win the whole thing.
No, you can't win the whole thing.
Now, Hammer, I would like to ask you this last question.
You can.
A little bit of time for if you send it, we'll hardly read it.
That's good.
Ahoy, fellas. What's that off? Oh, that's
Hamish
off.
and Andy.
Oh, yeah. Bloody good, those boys.
Yeah, they're very good.
I got stuck in a Hamish and Andy just
Loophole.
death pit on YouTube the other night.
They
Like,
are, yeah.
fucking so funny.
they're
man.
so
They've been doing
funny.
it for 30 years.
They're very good. There's the Caravans of Courage, the Gap Years, fucking the
I watched-
Irish Tin Whistle.
I watched a Hamish
It's some
Blue
funny
Hamish
stuff.
Blue pepper up Andy's nose with a
yeah,
straw.
yeah, yeah.
It was unbelievable.
And now Andy's nose is fucked, I think.
Ahoy, fellas, got a question for Hammer.
Okay.
There we go.
Was listening to the Saturday Rub on Triple M, which I like that too. And they gave Andy Brayshaw a call on
Yes,
the show.
they did,
I
yeah.
know all your brothers have different names for each other, which always change, I believe. E.g., you call Andy Snee, I think.
Correct.
However, Uncle James was referring to Andy as Stephen
Yes.
throughout the whole phone call. Why was this? P.S. How was dinner with Uncle James on Saturday night?
Yeah, well, it's actually quite a funny.
Was dinner good?
Dinner was great. Firstly, went to Salsa Rossa in Freo. Very nice. Had a steak. It was beautiful. The reason Andrew gets called Steve, so Andrew gets called Snee by the family and has done forever. When we grew up, the garage door would go up and you can hear it in the house. Dad would come home late after we'd all finished school, and as little fellas, we would all run and play hide and seek. Dad would come in to find us. Great way to bond with your father.
Love that.
Andrew was very good at it. And, I'm talking to the point where he'd zip himself up under suitcases under the bed and fall asleep. So we lost him for 2 hours on multiple occasions because he would zip himself up and fall asleep. So he got the sneaker. So Snee became his nickname.
Great.
All his mates called him that growing up. And in 1 year 12 game playing for Haileybury, Andrew dominated, had 40-odd touches, was very good in his 18th year. Dad was good friends with the APS umpire on the day. Came up to him after the game, yeah, blah, blah, mate, how you going? He goes, oh, your young fella's pretty good, young Steve. What?
Great.
Yeah, your young boy Steve was pretty good. So Dad's past that. It's actually Andrew. The boys call him Steve. Anyway, Steve. So all the Dad's mates now call him Steve, and Uncle James calls him Steve. So
That is
Snee or
brilliant.
Steve. So very, very, very good.
So he just got on national radio just calling him
Yeah.
Steve the entire
Calling him
time.
Steve.
That is bloody good. And you had dinner with James?
Yeah, had dinner with him. Yeah,
How was he?
He was good. Yep,
When did
he's
he come
in
on
good form.
BackChat?
Well, we were trying to get him on this week, but his flights got pushed around. Unfortunately, I said to him,
No, he didn't want
"No,
to.
I didn't want to." We'll get him on. We'll get him on.
That was from Jordan. Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan.
Hey, this week on the podcast, on our Wednesday guest show, David King.
Kingers.
Kingy.
David King.
Not Kingers.
Not Kingers.
Kingers. Who's Kingers? Adam King.
Adam Kingers.
We can call him King. Look, some great stories. Here's a little bit of what you got to look forward for.
The back of the Laurel Hotel was like a little shanty. It was just, we're drinking with gangsters and locals. Going knock. Why wouldn't you just
Yeah, it
kick
was.
it during the big sticks? Ken will be the first to say, oh, mate, you tried to get me sacked last year. I'm not trying to get him sacked.
Exactly.
Tell
Schoey's
him all,
mate.
look at me,
So's
look at me. Right? So it's just ruthless. Oh, no one wants to run the runaround, hey? No one wants to send the runaround. No, just give me all the good information. Tell me I'm good. Tell me I'm good. The back of the Laurel Hotel.
Sorry, we're just speaking over the top of that. See, my microphone was down. Sorry about that. I was talking about Tim Membry. I shit mixed him in that game.
Me,
hero,
Dougal
big
Howard,
hero.
yeah, legends.
Yeah, who's still playing AFL? Tim Membry, not you and I.
Yeah, exactly. And so is Dougal Howard. I had more beers in the rooms after that game than I had touches of the ball. And I remember it just
right.
I was like,
It was a ripping win, that
It was a
one.
great win. And I knew I was going to get done. Like, I knew it was like a token game before I got delisted. So I was like, fucking who cares? Had like 8 beers in the rooms and I had just played a game. So I was pissed as, had no food, dehydrated, just smacking cans. Got like the big speaker and like walked onto the bus with it just blaring.
Great.
Knowing full well that I was done. Simo in the front seat. Fuck you. Straight up the back. Oh, it was awesome.
I want to watch this game now.
Yeah.
Pumped. Let's do
David
it.
King will be a great chat, by the way.
Yeah, it
Sorry
would
for
be.
talking over
A lot
it.
of people have a weird, like some sort of idea about Kingy because of his, gets on Twitter. He talks a lot. Freo fans hate him for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he speaks the
No, it
truth.
was a
I
great
think.
chat.
But it was
Loved
a
it.
really good chat. It was really interesting.
That's it, boys. Thanks to our sponsors, Paywise, TABtouch, Shelter Brewing Co, Whippersnapper Whisky, ID Athletic, and Mamba Digital for your time and patience. Camera Electronic on board as well.
Ooh, wow.
Camera Electronic doing some exciting things with them in a little bit. If you want to sign up as a Patreon,
No. You're so close every time.
If you want to sign up as a patron, you can jump on backchatstudios.com.au. So once you get your merch, you sign up as a VIP, give Hammer a kiss, and that's us, done and dusted.
Yep.
If you want, yep.
I'm pretty sure
Probably
we're
not.
finished off. Yeah, Backchat Studios, __ on Instagram. Anything else to finish us off, boys? I think I'm done.
Let's go. Let's go win a game of soccer.
yes. Go
You guys
Backchat
are playing
FC.
today. Go BackChat FC.